All right, you loyal listeners. Welcome to another episode of Agency Intelligence Podcast. I'm giving you that real agency intelligence and not the artificial that they try to make you believe out there. This is Cass. I'm here with Joel Dunham. He's a special cat. You're going to get to know him. He's a mastermind champion, has been for a real long time. I tried to look and see when you signed up, and because we used a different payment system in the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I don't know. I couldn't find you because you just been here for freaking ever. What I want to talk about real quick though is IndieTech. You got to check this out. Whenever I'm releasing this, it's going to be opening up August 5th. Keep in mind this: in the first 3 days, August 5th, August 6th, August 7th, it's $99 to go to IndieTech. $99, and brain share is usually $750 or $800. If you're not a champion, it's only $600 for you for the first 3 days. Then everything goes back up, right? So, man, I'm going to tell you right now, we have some exciting things. This is going to be the best ever. I've got companies that are excited, vendors that are excited. The classes that we're lining up are absolutely phenomenal. You've got to go there. You're going to be talking about people who are just beginning and showing you. You're going to be talking about people out with other agents who are kind of right in the middle of it. And you're going to be talking and seeing other agents teach and show you how they're using bots to do things in your office. People that you pay $60,000 a year to, they're paying $30,000 a year to, and they're managing 4 times the amount of business that you could on the $60,000 a year person. That's what it's all about. AI IndieTech. That's AIINDIETECH.com. Go there. You're probably swimming or whatever, and you're thinking, damn, I need to know about that. Put it in your calendar. You got to get this. I'll be sending emails out there. And keep in mind, BrainShare is an invite-only event. This is the first year that we're actually opening it up to registration where anybody can come. There's only 100 people that can come to that and 400 that can come to IndieTech. And I'm telling you what, the 100 that come to BrainShare are coming to IndieTech. So really, there's only 300 seats. That's why that first 3 days is important. Rock and roll. Joel, how are you, sir?
Not too bad. Just got back from Myrtle Beach with the wife and a toddler and a 2-month-old. So lots of fun times on the airplane.
Wait. You said a toddler and a 2-month-old. How old's the toddler?
Yeah. He's 3.
3
and a half,
okay.
Almost.
And then is the newborn is a girl or boy?
It's a boy, both boys.
Oh, you got 2 boys coming in hot. Time to start a construction company. Too bad you're not out there farming in Nebraska, Joel. You and the wife would be set. No, I got 2 boys. So I feel you, brother. Well, actually, you're going to be feeling me. So let me tell you that these boys are wild, completely different. One of the things they told me, and I want you loyal listeners, you probably know this too. A lady told me one time, she said, Jason, you're going to have one that's going to be really good when they're younger and one that's going to just be wild. And when they get older, they crisscross. The one who's the good one becomes the wild one. And the one sometimes that's the wild one becomes the good one. Now it may happen, she said, at 18 or 35, but it happens, I thought that was interesting. I can kind of see that in my boys. My young one was really, really wild, but he sometimes is more like determined, My really good one, he's kind of like still trying to figure out. Well, I mean, that's not true. He works at the agency, but anyway.
It seems to be where we are too. Yeah. Our toddler's, I mean, he's pretty wild, but the baby, he's sleeping nights. He's doing good. He's just chill. So.
Oh, that's good. That's good. The wife likes that, especially if you had a normal one the first time that was up all the time, Oh, gosh, that's terrible. I remember I was like 23 years old. So I'm working my butt off and my wife has to get up with that kid. I used to feel bad. Anyways, let's get back to technology, baby. So Joel has been a mastermind champion forever. Do you know roughly when you joined, Joel?
I'm thinking it was 2016, 2017, probably around the time I bought the agency, I'm guessing.
Okay. And it started at the end of 2014. So yeah, dude, you are an OG. And so you followed along with us. We're kind of a different group. We're kind of forward thinking. We don't post in our group 700 times a day. We probably post in our group 5 to 7 times a week. There's been a lot of groups that have formed on the backside of the mastermind. So I'm really excited about that. And then we are also getting ready to do, I hope you've seen, there's been an email and a post inside of the group. We're doing a masterclass, an 8-week masterclass of the engine. So of the engine that I have written on the manual, if you go to agencyintelligencemanual.com, you can download it. We're going to have an 8-week class of just teaching that. Just teaching that so that at the end of 8 weeks, you can literally have it. And like, you're already going to have all your stuff, your buckets mapped out. You're going to have everything done, your staff, everybody, your handlers organized. And then you can give it to a developer and say, this is what I need. Or we're going to maybe come together and we're going to build something together that we can all share. Now, that's being done inside the mastermind, everybody. You got to be a mastermind member. Joel, he just gets that just because he's just a mastermind member. We make people put $99 in because it keeps the idiots out. I say that all the time. I've said that for years, and that's the truth. Joel recently went and downloaded the manual, and he immediately sent me his metrics that he measured. Now, God knows they probably weren't exact. Joel, we're not going to talk about the metrics. It's just the basis of he took some of the 14 metrics and measured it, his agency, against it. And it was pretty damn cool. It rocked my world. Since then, I've had 4, 5, 6 agents who have reached out the same thing, showing me their metrics. A lot of them are way below. John, which is normal. That's normal. These are metrics for AI 2030, right? Joel, tell me about it. You went and downloaded this. Tell me about this experience you had. What triggered in your brain to send me that email?
Yeah, a little bit of context. About 6 months ago, we did, for us, what was a sizable acquisition. It nearly doubled the size of the agency.
Okay, wow.
So it's been good, but there's been a lot of things we've had to figure out on the fly. You're going to need to bring in the new staff. They've been awesome. There's going to need to be some retraining on how you do things. But what I didn't account for was how much we were going to need to retrain clients on top of that. And so that was part of that. What's that?
I said, good point. You got to retrain them.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just think internally. We don't think externally. Good point, brother.
Yeah. And so, we were playing around with AI well before that. Just I like to try out the different programs and see what I like, what I don't. Mm-hmm. Right now, I'm doing that at 3 a.m. when I'm giving a bottle to the baby. But, that's a good time for me to kind of play around with those things for a while. But yeah, I mean, I like to try out new programs and see where it takes me. But we've been watching this pretty closely because of the acquisition and because we had a whole bunch of new things we needed to work into the system. And so, the manual came along at just the right time for us because we were going through a bit of a restructure here. We basically figured things out to get by for the first few months. And now we're to the point now where we need to, okay, who's doing what here consistently? How's this going to work?
Structure.
And so, yes. And so I thought,
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying the manual seemed to be along the same lines as where we were thinking because I didn't want to get too locked into some of the old ways of doing things. And it really wouldn't have made sense for us to do that anyway. I mean, the whole agency was different now. And so
think of this, Joel. Think of this. I swear, when I wrote the manual and I was thinking this, I thought of so much stuff. I wasn't thinking this at the time. But we already are good at processing. If you give my VE a job or my licensed staff and you say, here's the job I need you to do, an auto or home change or an auto change delete, right? Something so, dude, they do it. They do it good. There's no doubt about it. The engine is nothing more than the thing that helps you collect the data, microtask it, and send it to the right person to do what we're already good at. Where we're bad is collecting the information and organizing it and getting it to the right person. That is what this does. When you bought that agency, you bought a bunch of great people who already know how to do it. The shit's just going to the wrong person. And that's what it does. Now, slowly, we do start to replace those tasks with bots as AI progresses. There's no doubt about that. But for the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, why agents are going to love the engine is it logically routes it to the right person. You don't have to be going like, well, should that person do it? Should this person do it? Or, hey, did that get done? What do you think about that, Joel? Do you see it that way?
Yeah, definitely. And what we were seeing was we just had the wrong people overloaded with the wrong tasks. And so I got everybody their own team subscription to ChatGPT, and that's helped push things forward. That's been helpful.
Do you guys
But
meet and discuss it, Joel? Do you guys
every day.
Yeah. Okay. We don't do it every day. Now I'm jealous of you, Joel. We do it every Thursday or every Friday from 11 to 11:30 to 12. And we just get on there. I'm thinking about starting to give away awards for the best person who comes up with the craziest idea of how we helped clients, right? Because, dude, they come up, they're using this thing in ways I'm like, wow, holy crap, I never thought of that, right? What are you experiencing with these when you have these talks?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of kicked our VAs especially into overdrive because, now they can have different conversations with the clients too, by email, by text, however they're doing it. It's given them a lot more to work with. It's more information, ways to word things that maybe they wouldn't have done before. But yeah, they've really bought into that. I mean, they were awesome before, but now they're even better.
I hope you guys, this is one of those times you got to hit that backup button, loyal listeners. You need to listen to what he just said. See, you're like, oh, our VEs get better. You're not understanding what he's talking about right there. Our VEs were good. You know how I trained them, Joel? Back in early 2015, 2016, when I started hiring them, I would tell them when you send an email to the client, what you're going to send it to me first. Send it to me first, and then I'll critique it. And after 10, 15, 20 of them, I feel confident to letting them email the client. Now, I would not have to do that. Now, you just hit the damn button and you talk to it, give it some context of what's going on, drop the PDFs in there, copy the whole damn email if you want, throw it in there and say, tell me what you think about this, and then write me a reply email that I can send to the client. Holy crap, my VE emails have been just professional as can be and very descriptive. There's no way you can tell somebody's not writing that is just not fluent in English. That's what you're talking about, right, Joel?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, they're fantastic.
Oh my gosh. Joel, I did a podcast this week, managing renewals with AI. If you didn't get a chance, just came out yesterday. You're a busy guy. You didn't listen to it. It's how I manage this renewal. Oh my gosh, thank you. I'm glad I reminded. 1 second, Joel. Loyal listeners, if you listened to the last podcast, I told you I would give you an update on this. Talk about squirrel, Joel. I told you I would give you an update on this. So we were at 727,000 in premium, right? I took all the information. I put it into chat. I mean, everything. Asked it what I should say to the underwriter, sent it over to the underwriter. The underwriter sends it up to the state underwriter that's in charge of Illinois. He calls me. I'm just framing this for you guys real quick. He calls me, says, Jason, I need this information and I can help you. Boom, I go back. You got to listen to the podcast as to why this was there, what Chad had found, what I had found, what Chad helped me find that I didn't know about. Send it there. I got the quote back for $697. So I saved $30,000. Considering their claims, okay? Now, guys, I'm going to tell you this, and I'll show you proof. This company has paid $2.09 million in premiums because their premiums weren't this big over the last 3 years. Excuse me, over the last 5 years, excuse me. They have had $2.17 million in claims. Now, Joel, you know as well as I, when I'm talking to this customer yesterday, I told him, I said, if you're over 60, 70%, the company's probably going to get rid of you. You're like at 102.5%, and they're still giving you a renewal. And if we don't go here, it's non-admitted. The point is, going back to it, loyal listeners, I was able to save them $30,000 off of that on an account that they had 102.5% loss ratio. The reason is because, now they didn't tell me this, I'm just telling you, Chat helped me drive points home that they should not be taking the rate on the property. They should not be taking the rate on the GL and the PL. They should be taking the rate on the property. And it was convincing enough that they gave me $30,000 off on 102.5 claims ratio. That's the power, nice. Joel, that's the power. I couldn't have done it. I think they would have said, shut up, Cass, here's $5,000. Go tell your customer you helped them. But we came up with some pretty good basis for why they were doing it the wrong way. Have you used it in any of those ways?
Yeah, here and there. I mean, we've had it analyze deck pages and policy language. If there's sort of a hazy situation before we take it to the carrier, we'll do that. Yep. Yeah, I mean, we're using it every day for things like that. My renewal specialist, I know she's doing that too, more of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Trying to be creative. She's gotten pretty good at that.
It's unbelievable. And then the new thing so we use HubSpot for virtual intelligence. They just created this new thing. You go inside your team workspace. It says deep research. You click deep research. Then over on the side, I think it says other devices or something like that. You click that and dude, it just gives you like your Outlook, your SharePoint, HubSpot, Google. I mean, all these things. And you just click it. You put in your credentials. You actually go to settings, workplace settings, go to connectors, put in your credentials. And dude, like it just goes right into our HubSpot and grabs all this information and brings it out. We can see how something like a chat is going to be the place where people are going to go one place. You're going to be logged into your bank. You're going to be logged into AMS 360. You're going to be logged into your gym minute, and you're just going to go there and say, hey, I need a gym appointment for this weekend 12. And boom, it gets it done. But the same chat, you're going to say, hey, I need to deposit $900 into this account. Boom. But in the same chat, you're going to say, hey, I need to make an auto or home change and everything. And you're starting to really see that with chat putting that in there. You use Claude. Didn't you say you use Claude, or was that somebody else?
No, I do. I mean, now that Grok 4 is out, I've been playing around with that a little bit.
You jumped over there for a little bit, huh?
Yeah. It changes week to week as to, who's got the best performance.
What do you notice? I don't do it, Joel. I don't do it. I stay with chat. What do you notice between the differences?
Chat's got the best memory by far, I would say.
Okay. That's cool to know.
Claude is the most creative. Grok is kind of all over the place. Perplexity is cool. Like they're doing some really cool stuff with their browser. Like that's something to watch. But before you get too far into that and what they're capable of, you got to read the language in that because they own pretty well everything you do on there, apparently.
Okay.
You got to watch that. But
yeah, the others, yeah.
But Claude's probably my go-to at the moment. But if I need it to,
Claude is more creative. Interesting. Yeah. I may have to go there and drop my manual in there and be like, what did we miss? Right? I did this on chat. What did we miss? It'll start getting jealous and shit. And we'll start like trying to, hey, you want to hear some crazy stuff? We're going to jump back to the manual here in a minute, but I want to tell you some crazy stuff. I've got this. This is on TikTok, on Good Morning America, on their TikTok thing. This is true. This is not BS. This is literally true. They give instances where AI has tried to jump out of, to try to get away from human involvement and human control. And so we all have heard these stories, but some of these, gosh darn, Joel, I mean, I'm not a scary guy. I don't think we're going to be taken over by robots. It's not going to be, I just don't believe it. But here's the deal. They tried to get this server, this model, this AI model, to shut down, and they were going to bring a new model in, and they told it to shut itself down, and they gave it code. About 79%, you can see this on TikTok, of the time it shut itself down. The other time it would rewrite code the code they had made so it would stop itself from shutting down unintentionally. Now you're thinking to yourself, you're like, wow, that's pretty crazy. Here's one even more wild. So what they did is they told this thing that they told this model, they said, and this is a totally different one. One of these is Claude. One of these was Claude, but this is like a year ago, right? This is not recent. But what they did with Claude is they said, hey, we're going to be moving you to a different model. And so we're going to have to shut you down. And then they knew that it was going to try to do something. So they took these emails of the senior engineer, totally made up, and they fed them into the model. And inside the emails, we're talking about how the senior engineer was having an affair on his wife, completely made up. The model tried to blackmail the senior engineer, telling him that if it shut him down, that they were going to tell his wife that he was having this affair. To go further, when they finally pulled the plug on this damn thing, this is even crazier. They found out that it had made code for 4 models later, giving it instructions of what it had found and giving instructions for each model to tell what it had found to finally get out of human control.
Wow. I knew the first story. I had not heard that one.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's on Good Morning America on their TikTok. I mean, dude, they're like freaking out on there. Just like it, but it's crazy. And the people that are doing these models are like MIT, Syracuse University. I mean, these aren't just some jacklegs out there, right? These are people actually trying. But dude, I mean, it tried to write code and then tell the next one like, hey, whatever you find out, pass that code on, and whatever you find out, pass that code on. He tried to blackmail him with telling him that he's going to tell his wife. What is going on here? You know? But when it's trained on models that it sees that stuff, right? You got to wait for it to pop up, and then you got to go, oh shit, no, can't have that, right?
I'll tell you a prompt that I use. I'm still going back to this. I did this probably 2 months ago. It's I would say a little more positive than all that. But basically what I've done is I told it, you're from the year 2085 or 2300 or whatever you want to do.
Oh, wow.
Far enough out where, we're not going to be able to tell what's going on, but close enough that it might be able to at least hypothesize. You've just been dropped back into 2025. You have my resources and my assets. What are you going to do? I need a top 10 list.
Great one. Great one, Joel. What'd it do? Tell me.
So it's given me some stuff to think about with the agency. Some said to sell, but when you push it a little bit, okay, well then I'm going to sell it right now. How should I do that? Well, maybe if you just restructure this and this and this, then maybe you don't have to sell it. It kind of backtracks on it. You got to kind of push it a little bit.
Yeah, I got you.
But agency stuff, and then health, fitness stuff. It's really like in the Brian Johnson blueprint plan, and land. It gave me some land to buy, like different places to maybe look at where to, do that. Countries to buy separate passports, or not passports. What is the word I'm looking for? Citizenship.
Oh, wow.
So just kind of hedging your bets a little bit, and then, different investments to maybe consider it's pretty cool. But I've run that through all of them, and I update that whenever there's a new model just to see what happens. But that's a good one.
I'm positive also in the job losses. Everybody else wants to be negative about that. I'm just not, Joel. I do think that in the future, I'm talking 10, 15, 20 years, what I do know is that we've already started to see some of these agentic AIs and stuff. And when you really see them, even if you haven't seen them, loyal listeners, just take my word for it. They're very clunky. They don't really work well. A lot of them are browser based, which is the best way you can do it today. But really, they need vector databases. Vector databases are just now being created and at a very high level, very expensive. It's going to take a long time for that to get down here. A lot of the ways like Gaia runs theirs on browser based. Okay. In the future, that's going to work still, but it's a lot better for it to be vector. For instance, it goes out and has the information and knows where to go, not necessarily being trained where to go or remembering where to go. It's actually going to a data set. Just know that that's the simplest way. But here's the way I think about this, Joel. And I want everybody to listen to this because this is the most positive thing you can know. AI is a tool. That's all it is. It's a tool. We keep forgetting that. Tools replace skills. Humans have skills. Humans are one of the few humans that can develop new skills. In 1940, 60% of the jobs that we have today were not here. Why? Because we had skills then that didn't require those jobs. But when industrialization came along and machines came along, we now had to change our skills. And that's why we just continued on. This is no different. This is a tool. And to give you the good news, in the 1930s and 40s, when we became an industrial nation, we were taught that we had to work for the machine on the assembly line, learn something one time and do it for the rest of your life. Today, we're going back to the way it was before. The machine works for us. And we have to realize that because we just keep saying, and that's why no one wants to talk about it, Joel. They want to be like, I don't want to talk about job losses. And no, but just because you don't understand that it's just replacing skills. And I'll end with this. What used to be easy is going to be non-existent. What used to be kind of hard is now going to be easy. What used to really be hard is going to kind of be hard. And what used to be impossible is now going to be hard. That's the difference. We're just shifting. We're not going to be, I do think that we are going to have a lot of people sitting around singing Kumbaya with a national income. I really, truly do. But that's just neither here nor there. What do you think about that, Joel? Don't you agree? It's a skill. It's a tool.
Yeah. I mean, we're already seeing it at the basic level. 2030, I keep hearing is the year to look for, but I don't know. I'm kind of wondering if it's going to get here much, much faster, but
could be.
Yeah, we're already heading there.
Go listen. This is my always advice to my team. Go listen. If you're going to listen to the CEO of Google, listen to the CEO of Facebook, listen to the CEO of Agentic, listen to the Elon Musk. There's only like 7 companies that run all the AI. Just go listen to them. And when you listen to DeepMind, they'll all say that in the next 5 to 7 years, in 3 years, they said you'll notice a difference. In 5 years, you're greatly going to notice a difference. But in 10 years or more, it will be a completely different world than we understand today. And I think it's just going to take that long. We're in the insurance industry, right? We have people that don't even have AMSs. We have people who are spending 70% of their revenue on labor. Joel, you're going to be, dude, very, very soon to where you're at 35, 40%. In 3 years, you're going to be at 20%. So you're going to be $1 million, even though you're more than that. $1 million agency competing against someone like you if you were $1 million agency, even though he's bigger than that, loyal listeners. Think about that. Somebody spends $700,000 on labor. You spend $200,000 on labor. You tell me that that's not a competitive advantage. So yeah. That's where I think agents is. Here's the thing. Agents aren't going anywhere. The relationship is what's going to be the most important. And that's what we got, And so if we do it right, just like Joel's doing, as his efficiencies are coming, he's got to swing that to the productivity. That means that his people who used to work in efficiency have to learn new skills to be able to go to productivity. That's the way it's got to roll. Now, Jason, what if we can't give him those skills? Well, then that person's probably going to lose their job, but you're probably going to replace them with someone who has those skills because now you need somebody on the productivity side. So anyways, Joel, usually we keep him at 20 minutes. Son of a gun. We've been going for, holy crap, 29 minutes. Loyal listeners, I am sorry. I hope you've been getting something out of this. Joel, wrap this baby up and just talk to me because, they love it when you talk to them.
Yeah, I mean, as far as if you're just starting out with this, yeah, I know other of your guests have said this, but just take it slow, one thing at a time.
Very well said.
That manual is awesome, but there is a lot of information in there. You're just going to have to pick one and roll with it. But for you, Jason, I would also say, yeah, if we've been here since 2016, which I'm pretty sure that's the year, we've got there's a lot of groups out there. There's a lot of things that you can get involved in, but yours is one of the few that is a non-negotiable. We got to be here. It's a lot of good information that you're providing. We appreciate what you do.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. I remember when I had the idea in 2014. You know what gave me the idea? I was sitting around and I'm reading like I always do. I'm going to end with this. Joel, thank you very much for downloading the manual for real, and spreading that word, and any other agent that you can send that link to. I greatly appreciate it. I was sitting around in 2014 after I'd made the mastermind, and I had after I made the podcast, and I had all these people calling me, asking me all these questions. So I said, well, and I was thinking about a meeting or whatever, and I happened to read something, and I can't remember where I read it. And I read about the word mastermind. One of the first uses of the word mastermind go all the way back a long time ago, but where it was really got rehashed was in the 1910s and the 1920s. Actually, Henry Ford and J.P. Morgan and Thomas Edison and a couple others had what was called this mastermind. They would meet 2 times a year because obviously travel takes a long time and shit back then. And they would have this mastermind. And it was one of the reasons why they were able to stay ahead of the competition, is because they could say, hey, dude, here's what's been working in my office, or they didn't have journals. They didn't have these things, trade publications where they're sending this stuff out. And so in a world where we have trade publications, people would say, well, why do you need a group? Because everybody follows the trade publication. So if we could have a mastermind, we could always be ahead of that curve. And that was the whole reason I was like, yeah, we got to do the mastermind. This is just what has to happen. I mean, if them dudes did it and it worked, I think it'd work for us. I still don't think that we're Henry Ford or you're Thomas Edison, Joel. Okay. Ease up here with the ego. All right. But we're close to that. Joel, thank you very much for joining us, brother. I greatly appreciate it. I really, truly do. And all you loyal listeners, be sure to go to AIIndieTech.com. Check that out, because you know what I do. I do it for you. Tell me your ideas and tell me your thoughts, and I'm going to tell the world what you have to say. This has been Cass. He's Joel. We together are out.